Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we'll wait a moment here to make sure everyone can hear me and see me. There we go. Nick, Rosalinda, Sue, Andrea, Karen, good morning. Kincardin, Sandra, Aurelia. Joe, how are you? Good to have you on this morning. Kevin, good morning. Gloria, Jan. We got a great day here. The sun's out getting our Viderma here. Lynn, how are you? Bill, good morning to you. Len and Judy, Edmonton, Alberta. Holly, Kansas. Natalie from Oshawa. We appreciate you guys. Annette, Nouveau-Brunswick. Yolande, bonjour. Jocelyn, good morning. Wanda. And Morris, good morning from North Bay. Fran from Orangeville. Brenda, Campbell River, British Columbia. Barbara. And Joe's from Duncan, BC. Yeah, thank you, BC, for joining us this morning. Noel, good morning. Rakaya. Shirley, how are you? Newfoundland, see? Newfoundland, British Columbia. Derek, good morning. Mary, Linda. Hi, Linda. Good. Are you listening, Linda? Mary, good morning. Amelia. And Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Jeanette, bonjour from Hearst, where Santa Claus lives, Ontario. Linda, another Linda. Debbie, good morning. Samuel, Indiana. How are you, Samuel? We appreciate you coming on. Francis, Rebecca, Brenda. Now I'm going to miss Kadi Jatu. I feel sorry for pronouncing that. Debbie, Brahim, good morning. Sharon, and Babika, Diane, LaSalle, Maureen, Welland. Hello, Welland. Karen, John, how are you? Guys, April, how is you? Nice to have you on. Susan, howdy. Cecile, Mary, good morning. Lise with a Y from London, good morning. IT, or Ermi, how are you? Rain, Michigan, Lisa, and Marianne. Okay, let's get going, guys. I'm continuing on with questions, and we're going, one of the questions, actually, one of them came from Suzanne, and we talked about that yesterday, what happens when your gallbladder is removed. But what I want to do, I want to talk about another question that I got. Okay, so Suzanne asked about her gallbladder. Like, what happens? You don't have a gallbladder. Well, remember, your gallbladder is just a reservoir, okay? It's not... how can I say it? It's not the real deal because it's not what produces bile. Your gallbladder doesn't produce bile. It holds bile. Now, what do you need bile for? You need bile for fat. It emulsifies the fat so that your body absorbs that fat. It's like, think of bile like dish soap. You know? And my wife, if she sends me out to get dish soap, she'll say, now make sure you get the one that absorbs the grease. What do I know about that? Well, it's like your gallbladder. Your gallbladder absorbs fat. It helps to emulsify it, like dish soap. It picks it up, the grease. This is important because what bile does is help you primarily absorb your fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin A. Do you think you need vitamin A? You absolutely need vitamin A. Vitamin A is only found in the animal kingdom. You want to absorb cholesterol from your food. Right? 85% of your cholesterol comes out of your liver. Your body produces it. God doesn't trust you to eat enough of it. Especially in this day and age. My word. And 15% is up to you. But that's why bile is important. Okay? Bile is really important for vitamin A, vitamin D from your foods. Remember, vitamin D is found in the animal kingdom. Vitamin K. That's an important vitamin, isn't it? Vitamin K. Found in the animal kingdom. There's K1 in the plants, K2. The fat-soluble one you want your gallbladder, but if you don't have your gallbladder, your liver still produces bile because that's where bile comes from. Got it? Now, it's always better to have a gallbladder, but answering the question of Suzanne, what happens? Why do people lose their gallbladder? Why do people lose their gallbladder? Because they don't use it. Use it or lose it. Use it or lose it. It's very important, okay? And for those people that don't have a gallbladder, and the reset is good for you. Now, you might have to be a little bit easier, especially at first, with the fats, until your liver gets used to your new way of eating and producing bile. Okay? Producing bile. Now, let me bring in another question that was asked to me. A patient asked for a friend that might have they think they might have a peptic ulcer. Okay? A peptic ulcer. Here's their symptoms. Excessive flatulence. You know what that is? Gas. Bloating. Going back and forth from diarrhea and constipation. Nausea. Lack of appetite. Heartburn. Reflux. Man, that patient's not having any fun. Okay? Like, when you have digestive issues, boy, does that ever take away your quality of life. Think about this, okay? This person here, and many of you, or you know people that would identify with this. Like just their GI, their gut doesn't work very well, right? And, for some, it doesn't matter what they eat. They just don't do well. And look, the person wasn't far off track, thinking they might have a peptic ulcer, but here's my 2 pennies on it. I believe this person has SIBO or SIFO. What is that? It's something that we see so much of today. SIBO, in medicine they call it SIBO. You and I call it SIFO. Now let me explain. SIBO is a small intestine bacterial overgrowth. Okay? Small intestine bacterial overgrowth. And really, I renamed it SIFO because it's really not a bacteria. Ladies, like your bladder. We talked a lot about bladder in the question and answers. It just seemed that was the question of the week. What about my bladder? And let me answer someone else because they asked this too, and I might as well talk about it. Okay, well, I just want to get the name here. Sherry, baby. How are you, Sherry? Well, you asked a good question. Can Dr. Martin talk about nocturia? Like, you know what nocturia is? Getting up to pee. Lots of times as a woman. Hormones. It usually has the bladder, especially in women, relies very much on balance between estrogen and progesterone. Okay, Sherry? And when you're up frequently, a couple of things. One, you could be low in progesterone compared to estrogen. That weakens the wall of your bladder. Okay? And women, they can get that. When men are up frequently, it's not their bladder, it's their prostate. They got a swollen prostate and they get up at night. And we talked about that. Estrogen for men, insulin for men, 2 growth hormones. And ladies, even the bladder, insulin is a growth hormone. Estrogen is a growth hormone. Okay? And oftentimes in the bladder, what happens is you get an overgrowth of yeast. Why am I talking about that? Because I want to bring it back to the small intestine. Now remember, the small intestine is not that small. It's very wide. Compared to the large intestine, the small intestine is really, really, really important. It's there where your food is absorbed. That's a really important place. And what happens to a lot of people is they get an overgrowth of yeast. How does that happen? How do you get an overgrowth of yeast in your small intestine? Well, antibiotics. Okay? We talked about that a lot. What antibiotics do? They can save your life. But if you've taken an antibiotic and you didn't take a probiotic with it and after it, you could be in big doo-doo. Because it will mess up your gut. It can mess up the small intestine, and then you can get an overgrowth of yeast. It's the invasion of that species. And doctors think bacteria, and they want to give you another antibiotic. You got SIBO. Let's give you another antibiotic. I don't like that because it usually comes back. It might give you a little bit of relief at first, but guess what? Now, let me tie this into your gallbladder. Okay? Let me tie this into your gallbladder. What did I say about the gallbladder? Use it or lose it. That's how you form stones in your gallbladder. If you don't use it because you're not eating animal fat, the world went crazy on fat. Fat became the boogeyman. Don't eat bacon. Don't have, like if you're going to eat meat, lean meat. Ooh, why would you want to eat lean meat? Somebody said the other day to me, my doctor said I was in trouble because I was eating the skin on the chicken. Ooh. I got an instant migraine. Ladies and their chicken. Okay, but at least eat some fat. Doc, I'm eating avocado. Okay, I like avocado. It's all right. There's fat. But oh, you want that saturated fat. Your body's made for it. It's saturated with vitamins. It's a satisfied fat. Okay? Got it? Use it or lose it. But why am I talking about that? And then I want to talk about the small intestine. Well, bile gets poured into the small intestine. That's one. Two. Here's the connection. Use your stomach acidity. Use it or lose it. You see, your stomach, before the small intestine, it's really important part of your digestion. People don't think about it unless they start having trouble with their stomach. They don't think about their stomach, what it does, why, what's happening there. Well, it's a furnace. And guys, you get this. Your body, listen, does everything in the world to keep your blood sugars tightly regulated. Doesn't want you to go high, doesn't want you to go low. We talked about that. That's why sugar's so destructive. Because your body can't stand sugar. It really can't. But if you insist on eating it, you're going to secrete a lot of insulin to keep it regulated. Now, here's another thing. Your stomach has to have a real low pH. Very acidic. Between 1.5. Your body wants to have high acidity, okay, in your stomach where it belongs. And your body knows how to control that. Unless you don't eat right. And look, please don't misunderstand what I'm going to say. The plant kingdom is a good kingdom to eat from. Okay? So don't look at me and say, well, Dr. Martin doesn't like plants. I do. But not at the expense of the animal kingdom. Please. And, oh, Dr. Martin, with steak, it's acidic. Yes, it is. You want that. You want acidic foods. You know why? Because your stomach goes to work. It knows how to change your pH. Right? Use your stomach or lose it. You want it to function. Your body was made for it. Okay? Got it? Use it. Oh, Dr. Martin, I can't take acidic foods. Well, the reason you can't is because your stomach's not working properly. You weren't using it. And when you feed your stomach garbage, like sugar and crappy carbs, your body doesn't work properly with that. That's why so many people, they're on antacids. They got acid reflux. They got all sorts of problems. Okay? They don't eat enough fat. And their digestive tract doesn't work. And when you don't break your food down properly, there's a cascade of problems. When you don't have enough acidity in your stomach, your body tries to make more. The proton pumps, they're acid-producing pumps. Your stomach is full of them. But when the proton pumps got to try and produce more acidity, because you're not doing it naturally, it sends up that acidity into your esophagus. Your esophagus isn't made for acidity. Your stomach is made for acidity. It's amazing what happens when you eat the right foods. Your stomach will thank you. When you do the reset, you know how many thousands of people have said, you know what happened, Doc? My stomach got better. My bowel got better. Hello? Yes. Your stomach wasn't made for Tums. Yeah, but when I take it, I can eat whatever I want, and then I take a Tum to the Tum Tums or Rolade or the purple pill. Your stomach wasn't made for that. That's the worst kind of Band-Aid that you can put into your stomach. Your stomach wants acidity. It needs that, and you need the acidity to stay exactly there. And when that's working properly, what a difference that makes when your stomach, your stomach acidity is for two things. Two things. One, break down food. It's like a mulch. It mulches down. When your stomach's working properly, nothing escapes your stomach's acidity. You put a penny down there, it'll melt that penny if your stomach is good. I'm not telling you to swallow a penny. I'm just telling you, when your stomach is acidity, what a furnace it is. Okay? But if you always got flatulence, you're always burping, your stomach is gurgling, and it never seems to be settled. And, you can't eat a normal meal without, like your gut's not doing well. I always start with the stomach. The stomach's not working properly. You want that acidity to do its job, to mulch everything down. Okay? Got it? Got it? And so antibiotics, okay, I almost got off on a rabbit trail without giving you the second thing. The first thing is, it's the mulching. Got it? Second, kills, listen to what your stomach does. Fearfully and wonderfully made, guys. Your stomach, high acidity, why? Because it mulches food and it kills bacteria. It kills yeast. That's why we see so much today. One of the reasons we see so much bacterial infections and C. difficile and H. pylori. When you have good stomach acidity, those things don't get into your body. Your stomach says, hey, you're done like dinner. I'm going to mulch you down. You're finished. Can't survive that high acidity. It just can't. Do you see why you want acidity in your stomach? Not only to break your food down, but you want it so nothing gets past the stomach, like bacteria. A lot of people, they have SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, which is really, in my opinion, SIFO, small intestine fungal overgrowth. Bacterial or fungus, if you have a good stomach, I'm sorry, it will not sit in your small intestine because it's got killed already. And that's the problem when you take any kind of antacid. That does not happen anymore. And now they're showing when you take an antacid, you are so much more susceptible to any kind of virus, any kind of bacteria. You're more susceptible. Part of your immune system, we talk about this a lot, the immune system. But the immune system in the human being is complex, right? Yes, you need vitamin A, that invisible mask of your immune system. Yes, you need vitamin D, that supercharges your T cells of your Navy SEALs, of your immune system. Yes, you need that. Yes, you want to plug the leaks of leaky gut. You want to plug those leaks. Leaky gut can really affect your immune system. But the other one, and I probably don't teach this enough, is the importance of your stomach, the furnace. And a lot of people, they got a huge problem there because of antibiotics, because of antacids that really decrease your acidity. Oh yeah, but I get relief. I know, but you're not fixing the problem. You're actually making the problem worse. You're turning off the proton pump in your stomach. And a bad diet. You want your stomach to be acidic. Don't be scared of acidic foods. That always bothered me. Oh, a steak is acidic, Doc. Yeah, but not once it gets past your stomach, and that your body will change its pH. Between your stomach acidity and the bile coming out of your gallbladder. That's why God gave you a gallbladder. You better use it, or you're going to lose it. God gave you a stomach. Use it. Use that acidity, or lose it. That upper GI. That's why we at the clinic, we were so successful in fixing that GI. I come to think of it. I was big on fixing the gut over the years. Thousands and thousands of patients. You know what else will kill your stomach, guys? Kill the acidity in your stomach? Alcohol. And high fiber foods. You're not a rabbit. You're not. A rabbit, they don't need a stomach like you. Okay? Everything they eat is alkaline, so they don't need the acidity that human beings need. Okay? Use it or lose it. And that stomach, by the way, a lot of times, allergies. Between the stomach and the gut, psoriasis, eczema. That GI, boys, it's a big, big deal. And it's a big, big problem in our society today. You know, people always had gut problems. If you're going to be unwell, you know, that's one of the areas you're unwell in. But today, it's more than a pandemic. It's more than a pandemic of digestive issues. People today live on acid reducers. People today live on stuff for their constipation or diarrhea or gurgling gut and flatulence and you name it. People today are, and I feel sorry for them to have a bad digestive tract. I hope I answered the question. No, but I was thinking about it. And even, I was thinking about this. It's really important too, guys. Really important, because somebody was asking, let me get to the question so that I think it's the last question that I might have forgotten. There's Tammy's too, and I'll do Tammy, I promise. Okay. Stephanie asked about hypothyroidism, and she says, my fingernails start to cave in or are going concave. Yeah, well, look at, you know what I said about the thyroid. When the thyroid is sluggish, okay, look at your nails, look at your hair, and look at your skin. Observe. Eyeballs. I'm watching you. I used to tell my patients that. Okay? I'm watching. I'm looking. Okay? Because I wanted to see their skin. I wanted to see their eyebrows. I wanted to see their hair. Ladies, never, never, never should you have thinning hair. Ever. Okay, when you're 90. It's not normal. Your hair, men, who cares about men? Right? Men have thinning hair. Don't matter. It doesn't. I look at men that got lots of hair, and you know what I say when I see a man with a lot of hair my age? I say, I envy you. I used to have hair like that. Okay? But a man, it don't mean much. But a woman? Now, thyroid, huge when it comes to hair. Thyroid, huge when it comes to skin. Thyroid, huge when it comes to your nails, ladies. But here's another factor. Your stomach. Your stomach. Because your hair is protein. You can't live without protein. Okay? You can't live, guys, there's 3 macros. There's protein, there's fat, and there's carbs. One of them you don't even need to live. Now, I'm not saying you never eat it. I'm just telling you, you don't need to live. You need nothing out of a carbohydrate to live. Because if your body needs sugar, steak will turn into sugar. Did you know that? You need fat. And you need protein. But the problem with protein is if you don't have a good stomach, a good acidity, okay? Use it or lose it. You're not eating enough protein. Your stomach acidity will change. It will become more alkaline. You want to use your stomach. Use it. Produce more acid. Protein is the hardest of the macros to break down. But you need it. Your stomach needs to break down protein because you need the amino acids. Your hair is protein. Your skin is protein. Your nails is protein. Okay? You need that. And that's why I always, you have to understand the way I think. I'm looking at the bottom line with people. You never got into my office without asking. I asked you 1,000 questions out in the waiting room on a chart because I was really, really, really focusing in on your answers to those questions. Do you have leaky gut? Do you have low stomach acidity? If you don't use your stomach, you'll lose it. It won't work properly. You're meant to use that high acidity. Okay, I think I answered all the questions, too. Okay. So, guys, sorry about yesterday. I think it was a problem on Facebook's end. They might have had a virus or whatever. I don't know what happened. But the sound went off. Or one of you shut me off. I don't know what happened. Okay. But I was talking and no one was listening, apparently. You're to listen, Linda. Guys, thank you very, very much. Okay. You guys are so great. You have such patience with this guy here. Thank you for making our podcast, the Doctors in podcast, so successful. I just can't get over when I look at the numbers. I can't get over how many followers we have on Facebook. We are up to almost 70,000 followers on Facebook and just about 1 million downloads on the Doctors in podcast. That's incredible, guys. That's incredible. It puts us in the big leagues. And I'm just a little guy from Sudbury, Ontario. Okay? But that's you guys. You do that. I don't do that. You do. Okay. We're still going to have question and answer Friday, you know. Even though it's Tuesday. Okay. So send your questions. I love answering questions. I really do. And every once in a while, I'll pontificate. It's part of my nature. Okay, guys, we love you dearly. We'll talk to you soon.